I think it's been well stated, and it is also well documented, that the underfunding of schools is not only problematic, but it's at a crisis. What we see in our schools and what we're providing for them for their education does not even come close to meeting what is necessary for them to be successful. And in some areas, it's worse than others, right? And teachers, support staff, paraprofessionals, anybody who's at the schools, anybody who's at the school that's responsible for making that educational experience be amazing is at the limit or beyond already. And I find myself on the floor in the Minnesota Senate debating a bill about syllabuses, not about funding adequately, not about bringing programs back, not about taking care of our special ed needs, not about bringing vocational education back to the schools, not about the things we actually care about. I find us on the floor having a debate for the second time in as many weeks about syllabuses and reporting teachers and what their experiences with parents. Not that long ago, on more than one occasion, we fast-tracked money for business when they were in crisis during the pandemic. Not that long ago, we took a lot of interest in making sure our small businesses had everything they need and protected them and our workers to some degree through UI to take care of folks. When our schools, however, are in the same, if not worse, crisis situation, there's nothing but a couple of bills that add more mandates, possibly costs, and no more funding. Certainly don't do anything to take care of the class size issue. Certainly just completely ignores probably the most pressing issue, which is mental health of our students. Certainly ignores the funding we need to make sure they're adequately allowing for the classes they need, the technology they need, and not only that, but something we've long talked about, which is bringing career and technical education back to our schools. Certainly not paying our cross-subsidy. Folks, when our kids are involved, it seems like it becomes a political football. But when small business needs it, we're out there as fast as we can, and I think we should be. It's right to help our small businesses, but it's right to help everybody that's in need in this pandemic, not just small businesses. And we're not doing that here today again. How many weeks into session are we? We know there's a crisis. We hear it from our teachers every day. I talk to teachers for my kids who are in kindergarten, first and second grade. It's a difficult situation. What we're asking them to do is already heroic, and then on top of that, we're going to throw in a pandemic that's deadly to some folks. And we're going to give them situations that are almost possible in keeping kids caught up because they have to be home when they test positive. We're asking our teachers to be on that front line all the time. It is one of the backbone, most important threads of our culture and our democracy, and we act like we're just taking it for granted. No wonder teachers are leaving. No wonder there's as many people who have teaching degrees and could be teaching as there are teaching right now, because they don't want to be there anymore because they're not able to make it work, because they're emotionally burnt out, because we don't pay them enough. We don't give enough opportunity to be successful. We don't give enough training or hope or support. On top of all that, I want to share with you what I hear from some constituents demonizing teachers. This idea that somehow they're doing it for anything less than trying to make the world a better place. They cast political motives. Listen, I talk to a lot of teachers. I'm in that profession as a college educator. Nobody gets in this to try to rule the world. Something to think about, but nobody does that for that reason, right? They do it because they want to make the world a better place, because they have an intrinsic need or a call to help people find their way and be better than they were when they found them. I would encourage you to spend some time, go into a classroom, talk to teachers, talk to paraprofessionals, talk to the folks that are engaged in this process, and ask them, what is your experience? What is your day like? When does your day actually end? When does it start? How much money are you spending out of your own pocket for classrooms that you shouldn't be spending? What is your quality of life? That's what we should be talking about. That's not what we're talking about. Instead, we're talking about a bill that's yet another solution in search for a problem. I have to tell you that when I get those emails of people across the aisle, not in our district but in general, it demonstrates two things to me that I think are profound. One, it demonstrates a sincere and utter lack of understanding of what teachers do every day. And two, it demonstrates a sincere and utter lack of why teachers do what they do every day. And the last two bills we've heard about that reflect that perfectly, unfortunately. There is not an understanding or a concern or an empathetic nod to what it means to be a teacher, and that standing up for teachers is standing up for kids, and it is standing up for parents. They are essential as a team to make sure every child has a chance. And this bill is not getting that done. None of the bills have. And none of the rhetoric around it, or in the press conferences I hear talking about tax cuts for whoever, none of that's addressing this issue. It is perhaps one of the most profound issues we should be engaged in. And yet we are not. So I will vote no on this. And I will urge my friends across the aisle to take this situation seriously, so we do not cut our teachers and our education system, and most importantly, our future and our children to the bone any more than we already have. Let's do an about-face, let's be bipartisan, and let's go make a difference. I'm just really disappointed that we're having this discussion yet again. Thank you.